Today's unconventional cleaning method involves this lemon degreaser and my electric toothbrush. Lovely. So that didn't last very long before the battery died. I've got the charger, however, it's got a stupid plug on it. Now looking at the voltage input of this, it's 220 to 240 AC, so UK mains, which means I can put a UK plug on it. Ta-da! Soaking with some Sif Clean Boost cream. Yummy! I've done that one, and I've done that one, and I've done that one. And I thought, you guys probably want to see what 28-year-old petrol looks like. And it looks like that. It's completely solidified. Grimy. That is what it looks like. Gunge. Yeah, it's taken me a while to clean this out. I've been using general kitchen degreaser cleaner, a little bit of carb cleaner, and the most effective scour pad I've used, besides this pointy thing, is disappeared. Ah, here it is. This wire wool. I found this to be the best thing for getting it off. These are nice and clean, however there's some rust on there, so I'm going to sand that off and I'm going to paint these. I'm going to paint them all matte black. Here we have my cleaned carburetor parts, bodies and caps, covers. Now, along with all the grease and grime and petrol, I've also accidentally, well, not really accidentally, the paint has come off. It doesn't look like it had any primer on it, and it was just sprayed straight to the bare metal. Inside is clean as a whistle. Everything's blasted out with compressed air. They've all got the same stamps on them. However, they are all slightly different, which is handy for not mixing them up. So, for example, this one has a blank plug there and there. This one does not. I can tell you which one is carb 2, and it's this one, because it's got an extra little bracket on it for the idle adjust cable. And again, this one has blanks in different places as well. I'm going to mask these up and get them ready for paint. I don't want paint and primer getting in all the holes, so I'm going to use as many of the bits as I can to block the holes up. This is one of the choke plungers, so I'll be using that to block the choke plunger hole. It took a long time to do this, but they're all masked up and I've blocked all the holes with toilet roll. The covers are masked up as well. And the primer is on. Notice I put a glove on to do the painting because my hand got covered in primer. It took me a while to get it off. So with painting something like this, you just got to have patience. Short little bursts, a few coats to make sure you don't get any runs. Nobody wants the runs. This is matte black, so it should not be shiny when it's dry, because, well, I want it matte. I think they'll look better. I'm really chuffed with the way these are looking so far. Now I just need to leave them overnight to dry. Okay, they've been left overnight to dry, and now we get the fun part of taking all the masking tape off. Okay, I masked them up. a bit too well, maybe. Oh, it's so satisfying. Look at that. Okay, in hindsight, maybe I should have used some low attack masking tape. Oh well. Okay, it's going to take a while. Oh dear, I appear to have painted the floor, but luckily it's just dust and it will just wipe off. Oops. Oh dear. No one would ever know. Oh. I forgot about all these little brackets and stuff as well, so I've given them a good clean and a good scrub, and I'm going to give them a lick of paint as well. I made these hanging hooks out of the earth wire from a piece of electrical cable. And a great new use for my tripod. What a great little drying rack. Lovely jubbly. See, the fuel has got onto the floats as well, but actually seems to come off quite easily. Yeah, nice. Before, after. So I've got another cleaning method for you for these little guys. I'm just going to very carefully pop him in my drill, like so. Then get a little bit of scratchy pad. As good as new. Now I just need to clean up the bit with all the tiny little holes in. These are actually okay. I'm just going to give them a bit of a scrub with some hot soapy water and then blast them through with compressed air. This is the main spring that goes between the second and third carburetors. So when you twist the throttle, this opens up the butterfly. Oh, sorry, the throttle cable opens up the butterfly, but the spring makes sure it slams shut again. This spring is actually in very, very good condition, but if you look, it's been painted. So this whole carb set, I think, has been painted before, but not to sort of the level of disassembly that I've gone for. So I'm going to get all this paint off this spring, and I think it could be quite a nice looking spring by the time I've finished. Look at that, brand spanking new stainless steel spring. Same applies to the spring that retracts the choke bracket and plungers. I've actually found that my file is better for cleaning up the flats on there. Blast it with air. I've used some acetone in there as well, and as you can see, that is clean as a whistle. So these smaller jets have a tiny, tiny little hole going through them. As you can see, the sides are clear, and in this particular one, the end one, the through hole is also clear. I don't think it's perfectly clear, but if you look at this one, as you can see, the side holes again are quite clear. However, fuel can't actually get down there. It's completely blocked. The best idea I've come up with is multi-strand cable. I'm going to see how many strands I can fit down there and clean them out. And this is what the wire looks like once you take the plastic coating off. So lots of strands. So I can actually only fit one strand through this. I've twiddled two strands together and they do not go through it. It's a very, very, very small hole. So I'm just going to put the one strand through and just do this. Make it as clean as I can get it. So to get the grime off of the edge of this rubber boot, I'm just going to dip my fingers in a little bit of acetone and just rub it with my fingers because I really don't want to damage these. Don't do this at home, put some gloves on because acetone will dry out your skin. You've got to bear in mind, nail polish remover is 50% acetone. It's okay on this rubber though. I mean, it's not acetone proof, however, it will stand up to a few seconds of acetone on my fingers, just to get that grime off that edge, because that is the sealing face. There we go, I think that's worked out quite well. Yeah, nice and clean now. So to get one of these, I had to buy this off of eBay and it cost me £25. What an expensive mistake I made there.